Hey gang, I played another gig with some buddies of mine, 90s cover band, rock stuff. It's just the most fun ever. I had done a show with them before and had a beautiful rig I put together that was based around a Soldano Astro and an RJM switcher that changed channels and modes and brought in the pedals and stuff. And of course I decided to scrap all that and do something completely different. Why not? Partly is because I had this VHX, this Diezel VHX that was like, oh, I really want to give this a go. It's like bringing a bazooka to a knife fight. Really, and that's anywhere you would take your VHX. It's like bringing a bazooka to a knife fight. It's 100 watts. It's a Diezel. Diezel is in this stratosphere, top of the line stuff, and this is the top of the line of the top of the line. So this is like a Diezel flagship. It's like a VH4 Herbert Paul sort of thing, all rolled into Einstein, rolled into one with full digital control. I'm not saying it's digital, it's not models, it's the amp. When you turn the digital controls, you hear chick chick chick. Stuff's changing inside to reconfigure. It's a transformer, a real life transformer. I've never seen a head so MIDI controllable. Often you'll get channels or modes. This is MIDI controllable, the gain, the treble, the bass, the mids, the bass, the depth, did I say presence? The mid cut. And then it has built-in reverb, chorus, delay, tremolo, rotary, all this stuff. And then it has built-in cab simulator. Also, you could run your own IRs. That's how I'm running it now. I'm running my own IR so I don't blast through the room. And it's a loud 100 watts blasting out of a speaker if you would like. The thing is absolutely awesome. There's not a ton of them around. It came out about 4 years ago, and they build them in Germany. They're hand-built. When they make it over here into the stores, they're sold really quickly, so you don't usually see a lot of inventory on them. Hopefully that will pick up and they're around, but I will be getting to do a demo of this. So, like, well, in the meantime, why don't I put this into action, Guitar-wise, every rehearsal I was bringing a new guitar, trying stuff. This is a super cool Charvel, the Henrik Daneg, I think it's pronounced, which I love this guitar, but I had a lot of down tuning. I had to go drop D, and then back up to drop D, and then a capo, and then from there I had to go to drop D, and with the locking nut, I was so afraid that I would lose my key, and then I'd be like, everyone needs to wait and look for the key that just fell down on the dark stage while I can't down tune anything. I ended up not using this. I tried an Epiphone Dave Grohl, which the tuning stability wasn't on point for me. So I ended up using my Shabbat, of course, this Black Lion, which is just really a badass guitar. And it stays in tune like nobody's business. You just go, and you're in drop D, and then you back up, and anything in between. It'll just stay in tune from song to song. So, I mean, that's a real testament of a great guitar to me, or a great build. So that's what I went with. But I'm going to keep playing this because it's super fun. I started off making my basic tonal presets for the VHX. I had the super clean, a little less clean, some pushed, and then getting into the heavier tones. So that was the basis for everything. I didn't want to just restart every song. So I have basically, I could have whittled it down to 3 sounds, clean, semi-dirty, and a heavy. So then, as I was programming the songs, I would go, oh, this is clean, and I would just use that when I was programming the MIDI pedal, which is the Morningstar MC6 Pro in this case. So the clean was then cleanish, then pushed, then the rock, heavy, and the ball. So varying degrees of gain and modes. I want it to stay consistent as one guitar player's sound. I didn't want to jump like, whoa, where did that amp come from? So the amp sounds amazing. I just needed varying degrees of gain and sort of aggression, and then to pull back from there. So once I had these basic sounds, like I said, I went through each of the songs, selected that sound. Sometimes I would change it a little bit, and then I could just save it as a new preset in the VHX. And it's all being controlled by this Morningstar MC6 Pro. Now that is only a MIDI switcher. It's only sending MIDI signals, so it doesn't swap pedals in and out. Everything else on the pedal board is going straight into the front of the amp. So the amp has like 3 different effects loops that you can put in different places and stuff. But I just wanted to go straight in. Mainly is because you show up and I wanted to have guitar into pedal board into the amp. There was enough things. I didn't want to have another set of pedals running, 4 cables and around and stuff. Then when I programmed the Morningstar, I just said, okay, well, STP's plush is going to be, instead of 1 through 15, I'll make that 25. So I have like alternates going up. It's actually really easy to stay organized, and changing and tweaking the sounds on the fly in the front of the VHX was super easy. There's some global things if I just wanted it brighter or darker. Of course, louder. There's the master volume on the front panel. And then just gains. It's a quick like, okay, yeah, I like that. And then it saves in that dedicated preset. So like plush. Then as I bank up by stepping on 2 of the Morningstar pedals, I go to the next song. It tells me what the next song is, so that's really convenient. And then I could choose, okay, I'm going to pick the rock sound. Or maybe I'm feeling more heavy sound. Or I can pick the rock sound and then go to the Wampler Rewired, which I added kind of last minute. It showed up for a demo, and I was like, this is great. So I could go from... or this side. And then the clean, I pop over there, changes all the effects around, goes to a totally different channel on the Diezel. I'm going to give you the quick overview on the VHX, and this is the ridiculous stuff. All right, here's the main page. You have a representation of your bass, middle, treble, gain and stuff. And look, as you change the gain, you could hear a click. On the inside, it's changing actual analog tube stuff happening. It's not just digitally going, yeah, more digital. This matrix here in the middle is what effects you might want. So you go through all of this tube stuff, and then if you want, there's a digital component in the back end. It's like putting effects in your effects loop, essentially. And look, I go to the next page, really simple. And if I want to add something, I just go to that first slot. Let's go, I could choose any of the effects loops. I could add a little compressor, which I did add some compression on the clean sounds just to kind of heft them up and keep them a little more under control. Or I could choose pitch shift, delay, flanger, tremolo, rotary, reverb. And then this is great too. Like you have an EQ. So, I mean, this thing has endless possibilities. So if I push in, now I want to edit, here's my parameters that I want to edit for the EQ. And then, great. Now I could just go back. And I'm in this realm. Moving right along, this is if I want speaker emulation in this particular preset. Look at this, I could go, I just want the direct out with no speaker emulation. I want my IRs, which you load in your own IRs. That was super cool to see that they did that. There's a tuner. This is how you save your sounds. You go like, okay, store it to, I don't know, 7, and then you name it. Super simple. And then here is like where you set up your MIDI channel and some of the more preferences, if you will, for the back end. But even if you don't want to use effects, like I didn't really use the reverbs and delays and stuff on the VHX for this set. I used compression and I used EQ to contour things. It's seamless. It just saved right into the patch. And then you just use it like a traditional tube head for the rest of the time. Well, if you've ever wondered what's the difference between a sponsored video of mine and a not sponsored video, this is the perfect example. The DAW audio stopped rolling. Did I forget to turn it on again? I don't know. But I filmed 20 minutes plus. You know, when you got a bunch of cameras going on, there's so many things to forget. And it's a non-sponsored video, so I'm not going to redo it. I just can't. So I'll do my best to give you the audio so you can hear it. If it was a sponsored video, I'd be like, all right, starting from scratch, here we go again. But that's the difference, gang. So on something like Stop, there's this big trippy delay stuff, and that's where I went to the line 6 over here. And I have that set up so when I hit the MIDI channel to go to this, it changes the line 6, but it doesn't activate it. So it puts it in a ready position for me to turn on the delay, and then it switches to the appropriate channel on the Diezel. So once I click the delay in, it's there is tap tempo there. I never used the tap tempo. It was close enough. You know, we were pretty close on the tempos, so that was preset. Easy. Set and forget, a lot of modulation in that sound, and it just kind of sits in with everything swirling around at that time. Oh, another thing I didn't mention about the VHX, it has a noise gate built in, so you could set that per channel. I don't like to have a noise gate on the clean sounds because I feel like if I start getting delicate or on sounds that I'm going to be really dynamic, rolling the volume back, then it starts to chop in. But on something super heavy with a big, sort of big muffy kind of thing, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to remember to turn it on. It's just, I put it in the patch and there it was. This is the Corey Wong wah volume pedal. I've always kind of like tried volume pedals and been like, I don't know, I feel like it's affecting my tone in a weird way. This one doesn't. It sounds like the straight wire to me, and the wah is great. It's awesome. So you can be full roar and then just pull back, and you're just sitting in this lovely dynamic place, and then you can move forward. I use that also in any of the songs that were like clean tones and I want to come down and come back up. It made me feel like I had so much more control over the guitar. I like when the volume comes down, you have this whole other range of dynamics to work in. So that opened up a world for me. And now check out the wah. To get to the wah, all you have to do is stomp like you would maybe a traditional wah pedal. And now it's in, right? And there's two wah sounds. So there's classic and a warm. That's the classic. It's a, you know, very crybaby sound. Boop. Now you have this real throaty sound. There's a camera in my foot's way, so I'm sort of on a really weird wah angle here. But I love the sound of this thing. And then if I want to go back to the volume, and back. It's got a great taper. Oh, let me show you this. This was critical. For Wonderwall, I was playing the orchestral strings, essentially. So I made a patch in the Line 6 HX Stomp, which just does everything so nicely. And by the way, I'm just running it mono, so I'm going in it and then out straight into the front of the amp. I'm not even doing effects loop. So yeah, that whole song, you pick when the volume pedal is down, and as you swell it up, it gives that yeah. Then the HX Stomp is giving all of the tail and the wash and some octave stuff. So it's using this plateau delay. I have a little front end compression. I'm also putting a little compression on the VHX. So I've got compression before and after the amp, essentially. I have this RC booster set up in here, and basically that was just a quick, like, if I'm too hot or not hot enough, I could hit that and I could tailor the sound a little bit. If on the fly I wanted to do that, I could do it on the volume pedal, but that was more of an overall thing. Or if I was feeling like, oh, just sounding too bright or too dark, I could quickly reach down and slap that in. It's like having a Boss EQ pedal on your board, except it's sweeter, I think, and just having the high and low, it's just like really quick and easy. You don't have to get into any trickery, and if your setting gets wiped out, it's really easy to put back in. There's only one pedal left aside from the Boss tuner, which I do like this Boss tuner. It's an old one. I've had it forever. It's quick, and you know, I guess I'm used to it. But I've got this Wampler bell, and that had one purpose. The purpose of the Wampler bell is just to give it fattenerizing. I dialed in a really nice sort of neck pickup tone. This is a very bright pickup. So I was using one of my just generic clean patches that I made. And I like the way the bell pushes and this sort of warmed up this very bright pickup and just fattenerized everything, gave a really nice compression. It just feels really good to play through. And again, I can work in and around that with the volume pedal. So if I'm hot, you have so many colors in between working that volume pedal. So on Love Fool, my main thing was the synthy parts. So I got this really cool patch coming on the Line 6. It's something I made with, what's in here? This fuzz. So if I turn the fuzz off, phaser, script mod phase. And this doubler. None of them individually is super synthy, but when you put them together, it just, when it comes in, it feels very non-guitar-y. That's one of my favorite things, and the reason that I have an HX Stomp instead of an HX1. I have used the HX1 before, but I couldn't make that sound with an HX1. I needed 3 sounds. And I turn them on all at once, right? So they go off and on all at once. In fact, on this patch, the clean sound is... and then when I get to the synth... So the MIDI is telling the HX Stomp to turn on and off, as well as... Is that changing a channel on the... No, in that case, the Diezel is staying on the same clean sound. I'm getting everything coming out of the HX. So in the spirit of baseball season ending, we need an MVP. I chose the Hot Tone Corey Wong, the Wong Press, that's what it's called. Look at that. The Corey Wong Press. Light, small, but not too small. Like a volume pedal this small is too uncomfortable to play. This felt great as a wah. In the past, I've also tried an expression pedal as a wah. Just didn't feel good and feel right. An actual wah pedal feels like a wah, so I needed a wah pedal. It does require a 9-volt power. That was no problem. I'm running the Friedman power supply, and that's a whole Friedman board. So I had extra lead. I just went boop right in there, and you can see here's the side controls. And this is where you can control the cue of the wah, so it will be more or less extreme of that wow wow sound. This is the sort of frequency sweep. It's called tone, but classic or warm, like a crybaby or a more throaty sort of low end wah. And then the mode, you could tell it be only a wah pedal, or be only a volume pedal, or switch volume to wah when you step on the button right there. Also has its own tuner out, and it's also an expression pedal if you chose to use it as an expression pedal. So one pedal on your board and you're done. Wong Press as my MVP. Second, but it was a close fight, Line 6 HX Stomp. It's such a pedal board awesomeness. You know, a lot of those Nashville guys are using like a Line 6 M6 or M9 or whatever. It's like bulletproof. It's really great. And if you want amp sims and stuff, it does that too. I don't use it for any of that. I just use it as a multi-effect, but the effects are good. They hold up. Anyway, that is my ridiculous cover band rig this time. Next time it'll be different as well. I'll do a Diezel VHX video for everyone to check out because it deserves one. It's really an awesome amp. Cool. I'll do a video on this too if you're interested. I don't usually do guitar videos, but maybe I should. Well, let me know. All right, gang. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.